People in Senju team up with Uchiha to subvert Konoha. Chapter 31. Fugaku was shocked. Who Orochimaru was, he knew all too well. Cold, strangers are not allowed to enter, full of paranoia about scientific research and ninjutsu, a very dangerous person. However, now they send information to Chiba. Then Orochimaru-sama. Chiba nodded. Now, he's my comrade. What? Even Lord Orochimaru joined you. How did you persuade him? Hearing this, Chiba smiled. No need to convince. Because, Comrade Orochimaru is a thinking man. He and I are like-minded, so I call him comrade. He sent information, that is to say, he is doing it now. Spy. Suddenly, Chiba put down the information scroll in his hand, couldn't help frowning and looked at Fugaku. Mr. Fugaku, this is called underground work. Fugaku was embarrassed. Does this make a difference? At this time, Chiba handed the scroll to Fugaku. When seeing the content on the scroll, Fugaku's pupils shrank suddenly. He should have guessed it long ago, but he just didn't want to admit it. Father, what is written on the information scroll? Itachi couldn't help asking. Fugaku glanced at Chiba. Chiba nodded, before Fugaku handed the scroll to his son. There is only one sentence written on it. Watch out for Uchiha Shisui. Buried. Itachi was shocked, hesitant to speak. How come? Brother Shisui. Uchiha Shisui. To Itachi, it is the existence of both senior and brother. His crow illusion even originated from Shisui. Itachi and Shisui met even before Chiba. Only later when war broke out, Shisui went to the front and rarely returned. Currently Uchiha Shisui appears in Chiba's information scroll. That is to say, Uchiha Shisui is from Sarutobi Hiruzen's side. Is their enemy. Shisui brother, is our enemy. No need to be nervous. Chiba spoke calmly. And burn the intelligence scroll. At the same time, he put the white snake back and smiled. Give me my greetings to Comrade Orochimaru. After doing all this, he looked at Fugaku and Itachi. I know something about Uchiha Shisui. He has the big picture in mind too. Works on improving the relationship between Konoha and Uchiha. It's just that he failed to have a rational understanding of the high-level Konoha, and he is still at the stage of perceptual understanding of them. In addition to being influenced by will of fire, I was deceived. So, he is definitely not a real enemy. In this Konoha, our real enemies will always be those three mountains and the forces behind them. Please keep in mind, distinguishing the enemy from ourselves is the primary issue. Fugaku nodded, not surprised by Chiba's calmness. Itachi breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, Chiba looked at his friend and said, Itachi, if you fail to see reality clearly, recognize the status quo. You should also walk the path of Uchiha Shisui. Fugaku next to him nodded, indicating the same time. He knows his son. From a small and mature mind, he can think about problems from the perspective of the village or even the shadow. And it is precisely this point that is easy to be exploited and deceived. In this way, Chiba can be regarded as restoring history. Among the original works, it was Uchiha Shisui who took Itachi to the ditch. However, because of Chiba's appearance, he was brought back. At this time, Chiba paused, changed the subject, looked at Fugaku, and smiled. Mr. Fugaku, listen to what I said. Are you still willing to join? Chiba has made it clear. To join is to fight against the Konoha in front of you. It's against Sarutobi Hiruzen, who Fugaku has succumbed to all his life. At the same time, this does not only represent him personally. Also represents his Uchiha clan. Fugaku was still hesitating. Itachi next to him grabbed his wrist. Father! Itachi yelled. He looked at Fugaku with a meaningful look. Seeing this, Fugaku let out a breath slowly. After all, he is his own son. He said it before. He respects Itachi's choice. Now, he has no plans to change. Suddenly, he looked at Chiba and couldn't help but speak. Chiba, you grab my weakness. Itachi is his weakness. He values the Uchiha clan, but he values his son even more. Otherwise, in the original book. So he won't face Itachi's massacre and keep silent. Fugaku, he really did what he said. Even when he died, he still chose to respect his son's choice. Now, we are also like-minded. May I call you comrade? Fugaku reaches out his hand. Seeing this, Chiba smiled, reaching out to Fugaku for a perfect ending. Sure. Comrade Fugaku. Today, Senju and Uchiha officially joined forces. The two families that established Konoha back then came together again. The gears of history are beginning to turn at this moment. However, Fugaku couldn't help but wonder. Comrade Chiba. Why did you choose me, Uchiha to be precise? He didn't want to hear reasons like, Uchiha is powerful. It's superficial. Doesn't match what he knows about Chiba. Fugaku felt. Chiba chose Uchiha, there must be a deeper reason. Because, in this Konoha, the difficulties you Uchiha have suffered, the persecution you have suffered, and the suppression you have endured, are the most serious. Correspondingly, the revolutionary nature of your Uchiha is also the strongest. Once the flag is raised high, you must be the first to respond. Fugaku suddenly understood. Keep talking about revolutionary. What a revolutionary. Of course, there is another reason. What if? I said what if? I refuse. Fugaku continued to ask. Even if you refuse now, you will accept it in the future. Because the final straw for Uchiha is coming. After the Nine Tails Rebellion, Uchiha provoked Konoha's most violent suppression. Uchiha at that time, no matter what he did, it was wrong. Until the last genocide night. This conversation. It went even smoother than Chiba imagined. In fact, Chiba prepared for the worst. He felt that Uchiha would definitely join him, but, not now. It was after the Nine Tails Rebellion, when Konoha's high-ranking officials forced them to retreat. Of course, there are many factors that contributed to this result. For example, the oppression suffered by Uchiha was actually more cruel than Chiba imagined. Or maybe Fugaku paid more attention to Itachi than Chiba imagined, so Itachi played a non-negligible influence in this matter. Certainly. It doesn't matter anymore. Suddenly, Chiba took out a scroll and pushed it towards Fugaku. What's this? Fugaku couldn't help but speak. Gift. Chiba smiled, very mysterious. On the other hand, Itachi next to him seemed to have remembered something, his pupils vibrated, and he was very shocked. Chiba-kun, do you mean, this is? Chiba nodded. Sharingan cultivation method, change. I'm done. My god. Itachi suddenly exclaimed, couldn't help but stood up straight away. Seeing how excited his son was, Fugaku couldn't help shaking his head. A son is a son after all. Itachi, what does it look like? The words are full of the tone of a father educating his son. Then, he opened the scroll. Inside is the practice method of his Uchiha family Sharingan. The content is somewhat familiar. After all, it was originally from the Uchiha clan. But, soon something was wrong. The content of the scroll explains Sharingan's evolutionary route from both human body and chakrology. From how to open the eyes, to the practice of 1 Go Jade to 3 Go Jade, there are all detailed descriptions, and the feasibility is very strong. My god! Fugaku exclaimed and quickly stood up. His reaction was even more exaggerated than Itachi's. This is the practice method I adapted from your Uchiha Sharingan. However, it's limited to theory. After all, I don't have a Sharingan, and I need Comrade Fugaku and your people to practice. Hearing this, Fugaku was shocked. Totally shocked. At this moment, he looked at Chiba like a monster. What an amazing person this is. Not only does he have a high level of thinking that cares about the world, but he even has the talent to modify the cultivation method. Although Chiba said that the practice of humility is limited to theory. But Fugaku, who has practiced Sharingan for many years, sees possibilities in this practice. Possibility of belonging to the Uchiha clan. Comrade Chiba. You are simply the benefactor of my Uchiha clan. Fugaku clasped his fists in thanks. Was indeed held back by Chiba. Now, you and I are comrades who can fight side by side, there is no need for that. And, by doing so, I also want to prove to the world that Uchiha is not inherently evil. Konoha has circulated in private. Uchiha is inherently evil, because the more you fall into darkness, the stronger the power of Sharingan will be. Sharingan is the symbol of Uchiha's fall into darkness. But, right now Chiba is showing the practice method to the world. No need for this, Uchiha can still get Sharingan, and can already practice Sharingan. You can also be me and pay back the fruit that Senju planted back then. Hearing this, Fugaku froze. He knows what Chiba is talking about. The concept that Uchiha is inherently evil was passed down from Chiba's great-great-grandfather, Senju Tobirama. This is the conclusion Senju Tobirama has come to after studying Uchiha all his life. In this regard, he is convinced. Beware of Uchiha all his life, which created Konoha now. Okay, Comrade Fugaku, this conversation is almost over. The notes and practice method I gave you. Please distribute as appropriate. Hearing this, Fugaku reacted and looked at Chiba. You mean, there might be spies in my Uchiha clan? Beware, it's always good. Been taught a lesson. The three came out of the guest room. Soon, the foreign visitors gathered Fugaku and started talking with each other. As for Chiba, it was quickly overlooked. Uchiha's sakura flowers, throughout Konoha, are prestigious. Especially the patriarch's family. The appreciation under the sakura tree made Chiba feel the rare tranquility. Itachi, you friend, you give me a very free and easy feeling. Suddenly, next to Itachi and Chiba, a third person's voice sounded. He has a rare tuanzi nose, wears black turtleneck short sleeves and black trousers, wears a brown armor on the right shoulder, and wears leggings. The Uchiha clan crest is embroidered on the back of the clothes, and a small dagger is carried on the back at all times. The legendary man who greened Sarutobi Asuma. Uchiha Shisui. At this moment, there are still legends about him on the battlefield at the foggy front. Just one look can make Wang Qing give up the mission. His pupil technique has reached a certain level. I thought it had been a long time, Itachi would be very excited. However, right now, he froze in place. There is an indescribable complexity in the eyes. Chiba hastily poked his friend with his elbow. Itachi. Shisui-san, you are back. Hearing this, Shisui smiled and looked at Itachi's reaction with a weird expression. Well, I just came back. Chiba sighed. Itachi is really bad at lying. After all, Shisui, who was also a senior teacher and brother in the past, turned out to be a spy, which made him a little hard to accept. Suddenly, Shisui turned to Chiba and smiled. I heard Itachi never beat you. Come, make gestures. Probing. Or do you really want to compete? Just, for whatever reason. Chiba is not afraid. Coincidentally, he also needs to test the results of his cultivation. Come. Chiba hooked his fingers. Instead, he became a provocateur. Shisui froze for a moment. Good guy. What an anti-client. Taking advantage of this atmosphere, Shisui drew out his katana and walked under the sakura tree. However, an untimely voice suddenly sounded. You're a kid from the Tsunade family. A voice full of surprises came. Chiba looks back. I saw long red hair fluttering in the air among the sakura flowers. Then, she rushed over in a hurry, hugged Chiba, and held him in her arms, loving him so much. Oh. It's called Chiba. I didn't expect to grow so big. It's so cute. Suddenly he was held in his arms. Chiba was at a loss. His head was buried on his chest, and he was a little out of breath in the soft hometown. Beside, Itachi, who saw this scene, was in a hurry and said quickly. Aunt Kushina. Kai, Chiba-kun, he's almost out of breath. However, faced with Itachi's reminder, Kushina turned a blind eye. Putting his face on Chiba's, his eyes were full of love. The little boy face is very popular no matter what age women are. Even if the other party is already a wife. After a while, Kushina couldn't help laughing when he saw Chiba's resentful eyes. Chiba boy, what kind of eyes are you looking at? I hugged you when you were very young, and you even peed on my hand. Kushina, the nine-tails Jinchuriki who is carefree at all times. In this Konoha, there is no one she dare not mess with. Yet angry, even Sarutobi Hiruzen can make him speechless. Who made her the strategic nuclear weapon of this Konoha? Faced with Kushina's laughter, Chiba did not show weakness. I know you. When I was young, I often came to my house to eat and drink. Now that you're married, you won't come. Scumbag. Boy, you are very brave. For a moment, the blood-red hair standing upside down interprets the meaning of her blood-red pepper. Uzumaki Kushina. A miserable woman. Konoha has since been sent as Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Not only did they leave their hometowns, but the clan was eventually wiped out and became Konoha's tailed beast weapon. Before marrying Namikaze Minato, they were still in the Senju clan. Just moved out after getting married. If other people were Jinchuriki, it would be absolutely impossible for Sarutobi Hiruzen to let him come into contact with Uchiha, let alone come to the land of the Uchiha tribe. Pity. She is Kushina. You, Sarutobi Hiruzen, won't take you seriously if you get tough. Therefore, on Itachi's mother's birthday, it is easy to understand that Kushina, who is her best friend, came here. How is Miss Tsunade these days? Kushina stroked Chiba's silver hair, and smiled. Last time I beat up Hokage's assistant, and I'm in a good mood recently, but I've learned a medical ninjutsu that I haven't touched for a long time. The corner of Kushina's mouth twitched. Good guy. This is also a restless master. I didn't expect you two little fellows to become friends. She looked at Chiba and Itachi. One can be regarded as the child of his own family, and the other as the child of his best friend. As for the other one, Kushina suddenly looked at Shisui, who drew a small dagger under the sakura flower tree. Bullying my nephew. Shisui looked dazed. Looking at the taidao in his hand, he quickly raised his hand to show his innocence. Master Kushina. You misunderstood. Just compete with each other. Hearing this, Kushina's eyes narrowed slightly, making Shisui a little nervous. After a moment, she glanced at her nose. I really don't feel any malice. However, I know you, Shisui, the guy who has made a name for himself, came to find the little guy to learn from, isn't it a bully? Suddenly, she raised her wrist and smiled. Why don't I compete with you? How can that be done? Shisui waved his hands quickly. But Chiba next to him stood up. It's okay, I also want to test the results of my practice. Kushina glanced at Chiba, but didn't stop him. Okay. Since you have said it yourself, then I will not interfere with you. Chiba nodded and looked at Shisui. Looking for a place. The two left quickly. Kushina, on the other hand, crossed her arms and was a little unhappy. I don't appreciate your help, just wait to suffer. Aunt Kushina, I think, Chiba-kun, maybe he won't lose. Kushina froze for a moment, a little surprised by Itachi's words. You must know that Shisui has made a name for himself on the battlefield. Can this also overturn the students in the ninja school? Go, take a look. At the moment, in Uchiha's training clan, Chiba and Shisui looked at each other. Uchiha Itachi and Kushina watched from the sidelines. Itachi was a little excited. After all, he has never seen Chiba's true strength, and does not know Chiba's upper limit. In his eyes, I am improving, but Chiba is improving at a faster rate. He never seems to be able to catch up with Chiba. Itachi didn't even know how far he was from Chiba. And today, I'm afraid he will know the answer. Shisui drew the Kodachi, and Chiba also drew his ninja sword. In an instant, the terrifying chakra poured down. The indescribable pressure made Shisui's palms start to sweat. What a horrible chakra. This chakra surprised Kushina, who was watching the match. As expected of the Senju clan. The amount of chakra is as good as I was back then. Hearing this, Itachi shook his head aside. Classic Versailles. Resisting the pressure of Chiba's chakra, Shisui smiled. Facing Chiba at this moment, there is actually a sense of excitement on the battlefield for the first time. Come on, Chiba. Both sides of the chakra start to boil. But at this moment, Kushina frowned. Not only does she have the eyes of Kagura, but also because of the existence of 9 tails, she can perceive malice. Right now, besides Chiba and Shisui, there is a hidden chakra peeking out. Snort. Where do cats and dogs come from? Dare to come and peep. She snorted coldly. Instant shot. The golden chakra was released and turned into a golden chain, which directly locked the training group in front of him. Adamantine sealing chains. A unique ability because chakra of the Uzumaki family has the effect of sealing. Strong enough even to seal the tailed beast. Because of this, the Uzumaki clan is a born-tailed Jinchuriki. At this moment, she unfolded the sealing barrier, enveloping both Chiba and Shisui in it. The sudden huge chakra stunned Chiba and Shisui for a moment. At this moment, both of them felt that the chakra in their bodies seemed to have stagnated. There is an indescribably terrible oppressive force. After a while, the golden chain separated the sealed chakra and disappeared suddenly. Immediately afterwards, adamantine sealing chains submerged into Kushina's body, and everything calmed down again. Shisui was very surprised and couldn't help but glance at Kushina. Master Kushina. Kushina quickly smiled and waved her hands. It's okay, you continue. Shisui couldn't help swallowing. Just at that moment, he felt as if he was sealed, and even the flow of chakra slowed down. The terrible seal chakra. Is this Konoha's nine tails Jinchuriki? Compared to Shisui, Chiba is much calmer. Kushina even looked at Chiba and couldn't help but praise. Itachi, now. I kind of believe what you said. The sudden opening made Itachi a little puzzled. What's wrong? Aunt Kushina. Nothing. She smiled, but said nothing. However, the heart is very excited. Her adamantine sealing chains, even nine tails can limit the seal. Just at that moment, Shisui was shrouded in chains, and even chakra was frozen. But, she felt as if Chiba hadn't been affected. His chakra is powerful, solid and has great vitality, shining like the sun, with an indescribable warmth. Not to mention this side. At the moment, Hokage office. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo looked at the pitch-black crystal ball with bewildered expressions. Hiruzen, is your shit broken? Sarutobi Hiruzen's face darkened. He felt that Danzo was trying to annoy him here on purpose. And, it really fooled him off. Didn't you see my chakra blocked by Kushina? Her perception ability is unsurpassed in the entire Konoha, plus her powerful sealing technique. I'm afraid I won't be able to see it today. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo originally wanted to use Shisui to spy on the affairs of the Uchiha clan through the telescope technique. Mainly a Chiba and Uchiha thing. As a result, a Kushina was killed halfway. Danzo frowned and couldn't help scolding. Hiruzen, this is the consequence of your indulgence. Kushina, being a nine-tails Jinchuriki, shouldn't have gotten so close to Uchiha. She is actually Fugaku's wife's best friend, have you ever thought about the consequences? Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep breath. Looking at Danzo, like a fool. Danzo, you are amazing, you go and tell Kushina. Keep her away from Uchiha. She's notoriously short-tempered. It's the time of war again, what are you going to do to provoke her? Sarutobi Hiruzen was beaten by Kushina not once or twice, he was so tired of being beaten. Danzo glanced at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Then let Namikaze Minato do the talking. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Minato listens to her too. Danzo. At this moment, there is a strange atmosphere between Chiba and Shisui. Bring it on. Shisui's expression changed, and his eyes became sharp. The kodachi in his hand slashed directly at Chiba. Be careful, Chiba. Shisui is ridiculously fast. The eyes couldn't even keep up with his movement. This is a knife that few people can react to. However, Chiba held a ninja knife and blocked it with one hand. The speed is very fast, but unfortunately, the strength is a lot worse. At this moment, in Chiba's eyes, the virtual panel appeared. Name: Uchiha Shisui. Weakness: physique. The Uchiha family has always been very versatile, but their physique is flawed. This is true whether it is Itachi or Shisui. The difference is that the current Itachi's physique has been trained. Sharingan is heaven-defying, has excellent dynamic vision, and can even replicate ninjutsu. However, the eyes kept up, but the body couldn't keep up. Moment. Chiba held the knife in both hands and slashed at Shisui with his backhand. With one blow, he slashed heavily and pressed down hard. In an instant, the majestic chakra and irresistible force caused Shisui to be bounced away instantly. Not only that, Chiba's knife was so powerful that it even pulled out the light of the knife and the pressure of the sword, blowing Shisui away from the front. Buried. Even though he has experienced many battles on the battlefield, Shisui couldn't help but grow his mouth at this moment, looking at Chiba like a monster. What kind of physical fitness? Shisui was speechless. Physically, he was crushed. With his adult physique, he was completely suppressed by the 6-year-old Chiba. Although Chiba looks much more than 6 years old. The special exercise method allowed Chiba to develop rapidly, and now he looks like a 10-year-old child. Your attack is over, it's my turn. Chiba stepped on his foot and disappeared in an instant. The speed is no less than Shisui, or even faster. Then, Chiba made his first cut towards Shisui. A school of swordsmanship he had never seen before. This knife is amazing. But he can escape. However, geniuses have their arrogance. If Chiba blocks his own knife, he can also block Chiba's knife. But, he paid wrong after all. The moment Shisui caught Chiba's knife. The power transmitted from the Taidao is astonishingly terrifying. It is heavier than Chiba's counterattack just now. Can't stop. Shisui's complexion changed, and he raised the Taidao, letting Chiba's sword slide to the ground. Then, boom. The moment Chiba's ninja sword hit the ground instantly cracked. The majestic chakra is even released from the ninja sword, and its momentum is even stronger than the enemies on the battlefield. Shisui was shocked. Grass. He couldn't help but curse inwardly. Is his chakra free? To be able to spend so much. This is Senju. Can Uchiha's family be suppressed? The next moment, Uchiha Shisui raised his hand. The pitch-black eyes turned into blood red. That's 3 Tomo Sharingan. Facing as the same age as Itachi and a child of ninja school. Shisui never thought that he would use Sharingan. But, the speed and power brought by Chiba's overwhelming physique has the most raw violence and threat. He simply relies on swordsmanship and physical skills. He is afraid that he will be completely suppressed by Chiba. In the distance, Kushina, who saw this scene, was shocked. He didn't expect that a face-to-face meeting would end like this. That Shisui was actually forced out of Sharingan. Fantastic boy. However, Shisui uses Sharingan, and Chiba's physical advantage is gone. Because, Sharingan's dynamic vision is best at dealing with this kind of physical ninja. Unlike Kushina's horror. The ferret next to him looked very calm, and even a little proud. Aunt Kushina, I think you may have overestimated Sharingan, and at the same time, underestimated Chiba-kun's physique even more. Hearing this, Kushina glanced at Itachi. Sigh inwardly. Dude, you seem happy that Uchiha's Sharingan lost. At this time, Shisui's big blood-red eyes commented on Chiba, with an indescribable fighting spirit. Chiba, next time, be careful. The moment after saying this sentence, Shisui's eyes widened. The blood-red eyes were released with a powerful pupil technique. Phantom body flicker technique. Swish. Shisui disappeared. The next moment, on the training ground, afterimages appeared one after another. These afterimages seemed to have turned into entities, making it difficult to distinguish between real and fake. 1, 2, 3. There are dozens of afterimages. Seeing this scene, Chiba narrowed his eyes slightly. Is this the legendary Shisui? The next moment, Shisui's afterimage unexpectedly attacked Chiba at the same time. With this move, Shisui even used it to instantly kill a large number of enemy ninjas on the Kirigage front. Seeing this, do you think Chiba won't lose? Kushina looked at Itachi and said. Itachi shook his head and smiled. I won't lose. And it was the moment when the dense afterimages of Shisui attacked Chiba. Chiba puts his thumb to his heart. Plop plop. The powerful heart began to beat, and there were even bursts of roaring sounds. For a moment, Chiba's chakra started climbing. In the blink of an eye, it doubled more than 10 times. Silver hair, bathed in yellow chakra, stands on his head. Super Senju people. The violent golden chakra poured down, as heavy as the sea. But at the moment when Chiba's chakra was released, Kushina seemed to notice something, and his pupils shrank suddenly. Boom. Suddenly, there was a strong shock in her abdomen. She quickly extracted her own chakra, poured it into it, and stabilized the impact in it. After a while, the shock dissipated, and Kushina touched her belly. At this moment, on her smooth abdomen, the sealing technique was inexplicably revealed. There, the most ferocious tailed beasts in the entire ninja world, 9 tails are sealed. At this moment, Kushina's consciousness invaded, came to the seal, and found that 9 tails was restless. 9 tails, are you going crazy again? Dense golden chains flew out, restraining the restless 9 tails and suppressing their chakra together. The chakra of the Uzumaki family is too special. 9 tails was suppressed, but it grinned and opened its mouth. Kushina, what was that chakra just now? Obviously, 9 tails was disturbed by the chakra that had just erupted from Chiba, and that's when he started to get restless. This chakra is exactly the same as the original Senju Hashirama. Hashirama. Ho 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 ho. Suddenly, 9 tails went mad and roared. Soaring into the sky, chakra unleashes 9 flying tails, tearing apart Kushina's adamantine sealing chains. At this moment, the blood-red chakra broke through Kushina's seal and leaked out. 9 tails, seeing the perspective of Kushina's eyes. It's that brat. This chakra, this constitution, can't go wrong. Nine Tails, are you getting carried away? Moment. Kushina snorted coldly. Inside the seal, the shocking chakra erupted instantly. The amount of chakra is huge, no less than that of a tailed beast. These chakra are combined to form countless golden chains, which directly tie Nine Tails together. Nine Tails is struggling. Unfortunately, its blood-red chakra was getting weaker and weaker, and finally fell silent completely. Measuring its eyes, I couldn't help but close them. Kushina, don't be too happy. Sooner or later, old man. Nine Tails was completely suppressed by the golden chain before he could finish his ruthless words, and was locked in the seal again. The next moment, Kushina's consciousness returned, and the sealing technique in her abdomen suddenly disappeared, making her unable to help but sigh. Unfortunately, this sealing technique still has loopholes. Can't really seal Nine Tails completely. Not to mention this side. Kushina once again turned her attention to the fight between Chiba and Shisui. The sparring between the two is still going on. At this moment, countless phantom Shisui attacked and besieged Chiba, but the next moment, Chiba disappeared directly. The speed was so fast that it even burst out the impact of sound waves. At this moment, Chiba turned his physical advantage into the purest violent aesthetics. Hit faster. Thump thump. The afterimages of Shisui were shot down one by Chiba in the blink of an eye. What? Shisui was shocked. Can it still be like this? What kind of monster is this? Faster than my secret body flicker technique. Instantly shot down, Shisui was suppressed again and retreated one after another. But Chiba didn't give him this chance. Chasing at a faster speed, the majestic vitality is accompanied by the beating heart of the Emperor's engine, and there is an indescribable sense of oppression. Sharp. I have fought countless battles, as far as physical fitness and physical skills are concerned. Senju Chiba, you are the strongest I have ever seen, and no one can surpass you. I have fought countless battles, as far as physical fitness and physical skills are concerned. Senju Chiba, you are the strongest I have ever seen, and no one can surpass you. As he spoke, Shisui formed a mudra with one hand, and held the taidao tightly in his right hand. Fire style. Heavy flame slash. Blazing. A huge fire dragon was spit out by Shisui, and instantly surrounded his sword. The next moment, he held up the taidao and slashed out. Slashing the elemental damage surrounding the fire dragon caused the temperature of the entire training ground to rise suddenly. This knife is like a broken bamboo, no one can take it. Seeing this, Chiba just smiled. He felt the blood in his body boiling. Sure enough, a worthy opponent can make me recognize myself better. Bring it on. At this moment, there is only war. Chiba likes to read very much, so he is very quiet in normal times. After all, he is a reader. But, in his heart, there is also a crazy side. At this moment, this side is completely released. Chakra release. Chiba raised his right hand. The majestic chakra is unleashed. Form change. Chiba manipulated chakra to the point of near pervert. Its shape changes even more extreme. At this moment, countless tiny chakra began to spin, making a piercing popping sound. Buzz buzz. The moment Kushina heard this voice, his expression changed. What? This form change, Rasengan. Horrified, she looked towards Chiba. Spotted above Chiba's right hand, chakra spun with incredible speed. This change is similar to Rasengan's rotation. Only, the rotation method is different from Rasengan. Chiba's fast-spinning chakra takes on the form of a spear. However, this shocked her even more. Because, obviously, this gesture is more damaging than Rasengan. However, it is also more difficult to stabilize at the same time. This inevitably shocked Kushina. Chiba's chakra can stabilize in this posture. Incredible. Kushina was shocked, really shocked. Rasengan, the ultimate form of chakra style change. It is an A-level ninjutsu created by Namikaze Minato based on the tailed beast bomb. Unmarked, instant, armor-piercing, with flying thunder god, this is the biggest feature of Rasengan. However, due to its spherical shape, it has almost no penetrating ability. However, Chiba's chakra form has completely rewritten Rasengan's flaws. The same Muji and instant. However, chakra, which is spinning at high speed, has a terrifying armor-piercing ability, and its spear shape will give it a powerful penetrating ability. This is an advanced version of Rasengan. Its destructive ability is necessarily above Rasengan. Bring it on. Chiba didn't think much of it. At this moment, there seemed to be a beast hiding in his heart. Shape change, spiral gun. To see through the flaws of chakra's extreme form change. Empowering chakra with the purest destructive power. Boom. The dragon flame cut by Shisui was directly torn into pieces the moment it hit the spiral gun. And it is driven by the spinning chakra, as if a fire dragon is sucked into Chiba's hand. Immediately afterwards, the power of the spiral gun remained undiminished, and rushed towards Shisui. Shisui's pupils shrank suddenly. While horrified, he also saw through the truth of this terrible whirling chakra. Sharp. It's amazing. I didn't expect it to be so powerful. Face the dreaded screw gun. Shisui went head on. His Sharingan suddenly began to spin, and in an instant, it changed into a strange pattern. Although it was only for a moment, it was still captured by Chiba. This surprised him immensely. Good guy. Mangekyo. This guy Shisui actually started Mangekyo during this period. Then, with a bang, Shisui's body was hit head-on. The smog all over the sky deprived all sight. And in the smoke, in Chiba's line of sight, a phantom blocked the terrible blow. Chiba knew that it was probably Susanoo. However, Itachi and Kushina next to him couldn't see it, and felt a little thrilling at the moment. He was hit head-on. Is this going to happen? I don't know when. Kushina changed from worrying about Chiba to worrying about Shisui. The strength Chiba showed was too unexpected. And at this moment, amidst the smoke, densely packed crows flew out. Every crow has the Sharingan of the three jades engraved in its eyes. These crows croaked, attacked Chiba, and released the pupil technique at the same time. Let Chiba fall into the illusion directly. However, this illusion is only for a moment. Chiba's chakra is too majestic, coupled with Chiba's terrible chakra control, even Sharingan's illusion can only disturb Chiba chakra for an instant. Chiba also played up. There was a rare look of excitement on his face. Perhaps, this is a rare opportunity for him to show himself without reservation. Shisui was also surprised. Even on the foggy battlefield, no enemy ninja can beat him like this. The body is powerful, chakra is majestic, and its subtle manipulation is even more extreme. This is a person who is more terrifying than his talent. After a while, Shisui retracted the knife, looked at Chiba, and formed a seal of reconciliation with a complicated expression. Just now, even he was excited. Even used Mangekyo without realizing it. In this sparring session, the two sides made frequent moves and kept their hands open. Neither side tried their best. However, both sides played a little bit over the top. Because it is rare for both sides to experience the thrill of being evenly matched. Only, Chiba, is it convenient to take a step to talk? Shisui issued an invitation. Seeing this and leaving, Itachi next to him thought of the information sent by Orochimaru, and couldn't help but want to speak. But it was stopped by Chiba. Chiba knows. Shisui actually wanted to say something else. Because Chiba could see that Shisui didn't want to expose Mangekyo's existence. Shisui took Chiba to a remote place. As soon as he arrived, Shisui couldn't help but scratched his head, apologetic. Sorry, Chiba. The sparring just now is a bit over the top. After speaking, he pointed to his eyes and continued to speak. Can you keep the matter of my eyes secret for me? Shisui knows. Chiba, who was fighting against him, must have seen his own Mangekyo. Of course, Kushina may perceive the change in her chakra, but that doesn't mean anything. Hearing this, Chiba smiled. Could this be the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan? Shisui was surprised that Chiba even knew this. Since Uchiha Madara, Uchiha has hardly had a Mangekyo. By this time, many members of the Uchiha clan themselves did not even know the existence of Mangekyo. Generally, only those who have opened the three-hook jade or even go to a higher level will know this. You even know Mangekyo. Chiba nodded. I'm Senju after all. During the war, the Senju of my ancestors fought against your Uchiha a lot. Shisui nodded, no surprise there. Can you keep it a secret for me? Chiba nodded. Of course. It's just that I'm a little curious. How did you start Mangekyo? An accident. When Shisui said this, he was very calm. Hard like Shisui. However, Chiba could sense the turmoil in Shisui's heart. The Uchiha family is full of love in their hearts, so they are often sensitive in their hearts. This is especially the case for Uchiha, who was stimulated to open Mangekyo. As for the specific accident, Shisui did not say. Chiba also wisely did not continue to ask, but opened the mouth. Can you tell me why you keep it secret? This is the power that belongs to Uchiha. Hearing this, Shisui gave a wry smile. It's not that I'm trying to hide our Uchiha's power. It's just that my Mangekyo ability is a bit special, I can't expose it. Chiba knew what Shisui meant by special. Distinguished heavenly gods. The power to manipulate the mind. This kind of ability will attract the jealousy of the enemy, and at the same time, it will also attract the suspicion of teammates. Because, this ability can even quietly distort your will and thinking. At this time, Shisui waved his hand and quickly changed the subject. Okay, stop talking about me. You are the protagonist of today. Shisui smiled and couldn't help but compliment Chiba. Strong physique, massive chakra, terrifying shape change. Chiba, are you interested in joining Anbu? Anbu can have you join, it will make us Konoha stronger. Konoha's future needs you to watch over it. Chiba didn't know whether it was Sarutobi Hiruzen's meaning or Shisui's emotion from the heart. It's just that his tone is very sincere. However, Chiba just shook his head. No. I have my own way to build Konoha. Chiba does not use guard. It's construction. However, Shisui didn't hear Chiba's implication. Hearing this, Shisui looked very disappointed and couldn't help shaking his head. Is it? That would be a pity. Master Hokage appreciates you very much. Appreciation from Sarutobi Hiruzen, Chiba didn't take kindly. After all, he sees it as an enemy. However, we may have the opportunity to fight side by side in the future. Shisui smiled, rather cheerfully. However, his eyes were erratic, and it was obvious that he wanted to say something. What's the matter? You just say it doesn't matter. I heard Itachi talk about you. Shisui spoke suddenly, and his face changed. Compared with the optimism just now, it was more serious and painful at the moment. He said, you are a thoughtful person, and you have many unique insights into many things. Absurd. Chiba nodded. If you are confused, I am willing to listen. Chiba thought Shisui would ask about his relationship with Itachi and even Uchiha. Didn't expect Shisui to say this. I have a friend. Chiba. Such a classic opening speech, which made Chiba a little dumbfounded. Here, there is no one else. You don't have to. I said, I am willing to be a listener. Hearing this, Shisui opened his mouth, his face turned red, the little trick was exposed, making his face feel a little hot. However, thinking of his own experience, he still spoke. I thought. The whole Konoha should be harmonious in a whole. Everyone is a big family, and every family is a part of this Konoha. For this reason, I chose to join Anbu and want to work hard for it. I have worked hard, performed many tasks, and killed countless enemies. However, in the end I found that I couldn't see that goal more and more clearly. After saying this, Shisui felt a little regretful. Perhaps it was my biggest secret today. Mangekyo was discovered by Chiba, which made him reveal the weakness beneath his superficial strength, and his tense nerves finally relaxed a bit. He rarely confides his heart to others. Although Shisui spoke very cryptically, Chiba understood what he meant. So, is that why you Mangekyo Sharingan opened your eyes? Varied. For a split second, Shisui froze. He didn't expect Chiba's answer to be so shocking. Although your words just now were somewhat obscure. But, I understand. I translate and translate, do you see it or not? You think Konoha is a whole, so should Uchiha. But the fact is that Konoha is always on guard against Uchiha, even suppressing him. For this reason, you have chosen to join Anbu and come under Hokage's command to serve him. I want to link this Konoha and Uchiha through myself and build a bridge. But, you failed to do all this. On the contrary, I am more and more desperate for the gap between Konoha and Uchiha. Even Konoha wants to use you to monitor and even control Uchiha. You're hopeless and powerless. Taking this opportunity, you have activated your Mangekyo Sharingan. Do you think I'm right? Chiba said slowly. Every sentence seemed to hit Shisui's heart. True and brutal. Chiba even analyzed his own reasons for starting Mangekyo from it. Of course, this is also traceable. Sharingan, known as the pupil that reflects the soul. Mangekyo's ability will reflect the heart of the person who opened the eyes. Uchiha Obito has seen his friendship kill love firsthand. In order to escape from reality, Hollow who escaped the world was awakened. In order to destroy reality, Kamui who twisted the world was awakened. Uchiha Itachi lacks time to solve the problems of the village and the clan. Tsukuyomi's genjutsu, which can manipulate the world freely, has been awakened. At the same time, he was deeply influenced by the will of fire, and carried the darkness of the village on his back. Amaterasu, the eternal fire of darkness, has awakened. And Uchiha Shisui, committed to Konoha and Uchiha estrangement, fell into despair. He found that only by distorting people's mind and will can these barriers be eliminated, so he awakened the distinguished heavenly gods. However, in Shisui's eyes, he was astonished. Terrible analytical skills. Shisui had to look at Chiba differently. Not only is his cultivation and combat talent unrivaled, but he also has such meticulous analytical skills. Chiba. I finally understand why Itachi said you are a thoughtful person. Hearing this, Chiba just smiled. No, maybe you don't understand. It's not thought. Shisui failed to understand the meaning of Chiba's words. However, this does not prevent him from changing his view of Chiba. Originally, when I contacted Chiba this time, he came with a mission. Sarutobi Hiruzen asked him to test Chiba. However, he didn't say what to test. Just come back and give a detailed report. Shisui, who has been in Anbu for a long time, heard other meanings from this mission. Hokage wants to investigate the relationship between Chiba and Uchiha. After all, Konoha didn't say much about the victory from the Fog Shadow battlefield, and Uchiha Boy paid his life for the victory in the Rock Shinobi battlefield, but there are only vague verbal commendations. Shisui could sense Hokage's prejudice against Uchiha. It seems to be ingrained. Never got better. Also, before the fight between Shisui and Chiba, Kushina made a sudden move to block something. Shisui knew that it might be a peep from Sarutobi Hiruzen. At this moment, Shisui is punctured by Chiba. He didn't pretend either. Too tired. Take it easy and ask Chiba for clarification. He felt that his predicament might be solved in Chiba. Chiba, what do you think of Konoha? Hearing this, Chiba smiled and spoke casually. Konoha. Once Senju and Uchiha were founded together, it has a long and glorious history complex. Shisui. It's over. Shisui was dumbfounded. This sentence seems to be a correct nonsense. I want to hear what you really think. Chiba doesn't want to talk too much with Shisui. Because he is different from Itachi who has not been affected by Will of Fire. He is somewhat blind to Will of Fire. In the original book, Uchiha Itachi was even brought into the ditch. Right now he and Uchiha have just formed a relationship and don't want to pay for it. But, he is willing to plant the seeds of thought in Shisui's heart. Shisui, what do you think? What is Anbu? Guard the power of Konoha. Ridiculous. Chiba spoke righteously, his voice amplified a bit. Your eyes can see farther. You stayed in Anbu, ask your heart. Again, what do you think Anbu is? This time, Shisui was silent for a moment. He combined his experience in Anbu and the tasks he performed, and finally he let out an answer. Army loyal to Hokage. It's a fairly qualified understanding. Chiba smiled and spoke calmly. But shouldn't the army be loyal to the people? The belief of the army should also be the people. This time, Shisui understood. But Chiba's starting point for Anbu is extremely shocking. Shocked pupils, it is difficult to hide the inner unrest. People. Shisui was thoughtful, Chiba continued to speak. Do you think, Hokage, can represent the people? Can't you? Shisui asked back. You are also a member of the people, Hokage, can he represent you? Can he represent Uchiha? Can he represent Hyuga who was pushed to the front line of Cloud Shinobi? Can he represent Senju who I destroyed? Can he represent all the heroes who fought bloody battles on the front line? Is it? Can he? Can. Hearing this, Shisui was shocked. And Chiba continues. If he can. Then do you agree? It is said that the person who is recognized by everyone is Hokage. Then Hokage right now, do you think you really approve? Or, can you convince yourself to approve him? Shisui fell silent. This moment, he felt that the beliefs he had built up over the decades were beginning to crumble. Chiba, what do you want to tell me? Chiba shook his head. It's not what I want to tell you, but what you want to hear. Your eyes are better than mine. You should see farther than me. This is the thought. After speaking, Chiba patted Shisui on the shoulder and left with a smile. He didn't say much. Just throwing a question and getting him to think about it. Shisui is different from the disappointed Orochimaru, the cautiously backed Uchiha Fugaku, and the unaffected Uchiha Itachi. He was deeply influenced by Will of Fire. Even turned to the Hokage faction. Therefore, Chiba cannot put himself and the comrades he is currently wooing into crisis in order to win over Shisui. But he was indeed working hard to solve the problem, but the method and direction deviated from the correct track. Just like Chiba began with his evaluation. His understanding of Konoha's high level is still in the perceptual stage, he has not reached a rational understanding, and at the same time he still has illusions about it. He needs to come out on his own. Shisui didn't even know how he left in the end. However, Chiba's words stayed in his heart sonorously and echoed in his ears non-stop. The belief of the army is the people. Does Anbu believe in the people? Shisui shook his head, obviously not. He took on many tasks in Anbu. Including, but not limited to intelligence theft, assassination, escort. He doesn't know what these tasks are for, he just completes them mechanically. Hokage will tell them. This is to protect Konoha. However, he didn't even know what he represented. Hokage, is it really the Hokage you recognize? Talk to Chiba for a while. He saw thought. However, I felt even more confused. Because, his beliefs are collapsing, and a new thought is slowly rising. Next time, when he goes to Chiba again, perhaps, it will be a freshman. Shisui. Uchiha Shisui. Are you listening to me? Shisui's thoughts were so absent-minded that he even ignored that he was reporting the task Hokage gave him at the moment. Master Third Generation, I'm sorry, I was a little distracted just now. Right now, I'm sitting in my office. Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was smoking a pipe, frowned and couldn't help but speak. It's not like you, Shisui. What's wrong with you? Shisui was flustered. However, Anbu's mask gave him the perfect cover. So, he said. According to my investigation, Chiba, something is beyond my expectation. Oh. Sarutobi Hiruzen came interested. Tell me the details. This time, he was invited by Uchiha Itachi to his mother's birthday. I made a request to discuss with him. His talent and strength are beyond my imagination. In the future, he may be able to aspire to the pinnacle of the ninja world. This sentence is extremely powerful. However, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't listen. What he cared about was Shisui's previous report. Chiba, is it really just an invitation to a birthday party? Danzo said that Chiba has two faces at school and in private. He was fooling him at school, which made him ask. What do you think of his performance? When fighting, what about style? Very wild. Shisui reported truthfully. Moreover, it's wild and domineering. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. Wild, domineering. Fits well with what he knows about Chiba at school. At the same time, it is also in line with the external characteristics of a very talented child, arrogant, showing off his strength, and not hiding his clumsiness. Nothing wrong. Sarutobi Hiruzen breathed a sigh of relief. At this moment, he suddenly felt that Danzo's worries were unnecessary. Sure enough, the old guy was too aggressive. I've been remembering the time when Tsunade beat him up. After the discussion, I invited him to join your Anbu. Sarutobi Hiruzen was taken aback. Unexpectedly, Shisui was able to make a test in a crooked way. What about his answer? Refused. As for the subsequent conversation, he did not say. After all, it also involves my own Mangekyo. Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled. It is completely relaxed. That's right. Possessing extreme talent is bound to be arrogant. I feel that I will be invincible in the future and look down on others, which is in line with Chiba's image. At the beginning, Chiba didn't pay attention to the route. Okay, Shisui. You did a good job on this mission, let's go. Shisui nodded, and soon disappeared. And Shisui just left. Danzo popped out of nowhere. Hiruzen, don't trust Shisui's words. There's something wrong with Chiba, do you trust me or him? Oh shit. Sarutobi Hiruzen looks at Danzo at this moment and wants to hit him. Enough, Danzo. I listened to you before and sent Shisui there. Now that the report has been given, what are you still arguing about? I was beaten up by Tsunade last time, so you hold a grudge. Lousy. Danzo took a deep breath, cursing inwardly. Do you have to mention these things? Shisui belongs to Uchiha too, don't you forget. Stop talking. Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand, too lazy to listen to Danzo's nonsense. At this moment, in his opinion, no matter how much Danzo defends, it is just to get Chiba. After all, the talent shown by Chiba is quite terrifying. He understands Danzo. But not indulge. Danzo, I warn you one last time. Don't go near Chiba again. For him, I have my own arrangements. Hearing this, Danzo was out of breath and extremely annoyed. However, Hokage is not him after all. Indeed, he admitted that he was beaten and angry. However, he just felt that something was wrong with Chiba. The more there is no flaw, the more something is wrong. Senju and Uchiha, it's not easy. By the way, Danzo, hasn't Orochimaru settled down a lot lately? Because of the fourth generation thing. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Orochimaru are quite rusty. During that time, Sarutobi Hiruzen clearly felt that Orochimaru had changed, and he was doing inhumane experiments all day long. He thought he was sorry for Orochimaru, so he turned a blind eye to it. However, these days, he found Orochimaru pleasing to the eye a lot. After changing the previous cold and dark style, it has become a lot more sunny and casual. Perhaps, he has let go of the fourth generation campaign. Sarutobi Hiruzen feels that the relationship with Orochimaru can be repaired. However, Danzo, who heard this, almost thought that Sarutobi Hiruzen had lost his mind and went crazy. Safe. Hiruzen, are you out of your mind? There's clearly something wrong with Orochimaru these days. I don't know what I'm researching all day long, and I keep uttering some unclear words. He even became a lot more sunny. Sarutobi Hiruzen froze for a moment. Isn't that bad? Hiruzen, that's Orochimaru. Something must be wrong. Oh shit. You've got it, Danzo. Do you really dislike anyone? Seeing that something is wrong with anyone. What about Kushina? Danzo's face darkened. There's nothing wrong with her, getting so close to Uchiha. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Danzo, who do you think Konoha is normal? It must be the old man. Danzo didn't even blush. The old man has been wiping your butt for you. Suddenly, Danzo felt something was wrong with Sarutobi Hiruzen's tone. Hiruzen, what do you mean? Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep breath, let it out slowly, pointed directly at Danzo, and snorted coldly. Danzo. Go away. Chiba's eyes can see many openings. However, this does not include himself. Therefore, whether it is practice or thinking, he needs to discover problems by himself and improve himself. Today's Uchiha tribe. Chiba has gained a lot. Not only spread his own thoughts in the dialogue with Fugaku, but also successfully pulled Uchiha into his camp. At the same time, in the process, Chiba is also discovering its own problems. Chiba has a good habit. If there is a problem, just record it in the notebook with a pen, and wait for it to be perfected in the future. It's just that, for Uchiha and his party, compared with the ideological gains, Chiba's insights are deeper in combat and practice. The battle with Shisui, even if he didn't unleash at full strength, reached the greatest output ever. This is the most hardy battle since Chiba was born. The feeling of releasing power to the fullest is very cool. The release of strength and inner wildness made Chiba feel that the bottleneck he had not broken through for a long time began to loosen. Perhaps, I can start my next stage of practice. Whether it is in thought or in practice. Chiba has its own plans. In the original training plan, Chiba walked in 3 steps. In the first stage, Chiba practiced physical training day after day with the purpose of laying a good foundation for himself. The Senju family is famous for their huge chakra, but the only ones who can really be called monster-like chakra are Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama. And that's what Chiba is aiming for. Use the modified exercise method to temper yourself and get closer to Sage Body. While practicing Sage Body, you can get in touch with natural energy and lay the foundation for Sage Mode in the future. Under the practice of body forging, Chiba has a solid foundation that ordinary people can't imagine. Under normal conditions, the amount of chakra in Chiba has far surpassed that of Jonin. After the heart is liberated, the amount of chakra has increased by more than 10 times, approaching the threshold of the tailed beast. However, Chiba did not dare to continue opening the door for fear of damaging the foundation. After all, He is only 6 years old now, and his actual physical age should be about 10 years old. Maybe in a few months, he will be able to continue opening the door without damage. Reached the Super Senjuman second rank. Just like what Chiba and Itachi said, the modified exercise method makes Chiba's growth period very short, and his body can be fully formed at the age of 8. At the same time, the vitality stimulated will make his youth particularly long, which will make Chiba perennially at the peak of physical function. This time may be 50 years, or even longer. Certainly. There is a limit to vitality, and when this vitality begins to decline, Chiba will weaken very quickly, and may enter its twilight years in a few years. I feel more and more like a Saiyan. After all, Chiba's modified training method is to lay the foundation for fighting. And the second stage is the subtle manipulation of chakra. The amount of chakra is a powerful capital, and its subtle manipulation is the starting point for becoming stronger. Any learning of ninjutsu or even the fusion of blood succession limits cannot be separated from the subtle manipulation of chakra. The more finely you manipulate chakra, the faster you can learn ninjutsu and create ninjutsu. Although this is the second phase of the Chiba plan. However, in fact, the manipulation of chakra should run through the entire cultivation process, even prior to the foundation of physical training. Because, when Chiba followed Tsunade to learn medical knowledge, healing jutsu, which is the basis of cell research, was a must. Therefore, although Chiba's cultivation plan is divided into 3 steps. But in fact, the first step and the second step are carried out simultaneously, and even the second step has to be stepped out first. Do not be too dogmatic and empirical in doing anything, but need to combine theory with practice. Then, the next stage is the third stage. The third step of Chiba practice. Realize the laid foundation and chakra's manipulation into strength. That is the practice of ninjutsu. The so-called ninjutsu is nothing but a variant of chakra and a conversion of energy forms. Simple chakra form changes, simple chakra nature transformation, and both form and nature changes will be released in the form of ninjutsu. As for chakra's form change, Chiba has found the most destructive form in the second step of chakra's subtle manipulation, the spiral gun. Therefore, in fact, the second step and the third step are not completely unrelated. When the second step is taken, the third step is actually preparing for it. Thinking this way, Chiba took out the scroll left by the Senju clan. In addition to the sealed forbidden technique, the Senju scroll is more derived from the ninjutsu of Senju Tobarama. But what everyone knows is that Senju Tobarama is a man with forbidden technique all over his body. So, this is basically water style. Chiba let out a breath. Then start with water style. Opening the scroll, Chiba began to flip through it, see through the flaws, and then modify it. Everything starts with refining the chakra of water attributes. Not to mention this side. Tonight, the originally deserted Senju clan welcomed a guest. Tsunade, who has long been disappointed in this Konoha, and a group of stubborn Senju Maha rarely gathered together to greet him. Miss Tsunade. Master True Leaf. Long time no see. Tsunade, who spends his days drinking away his sorrows, and Senju, who is always depressed, are very happy to see the visitor. After all, the opponent counts as half of their Senju clan. I used to live in the Senju family for a long time, and it is still half of the family. Kushina, what wind brought you here today? Hearing this, the red-haired Kushina shook her long hair heroically and said with a smile. What? Can't you come back and have a look if you have nothing to do? Chiba's second master, Senju Maha, was rarely happy, looked at Kushina, and couldn't help but speak. I didn't expect that. The little girl back then has grown so big. You couldn't be bullied by Minato, come back and sue. Kushina quickly waved his hand. It's nothing, Minato is still on the front line and hasn't come back yet. However, it's almost too soon. Isn't Yanying already defeated? I guess it's the last thing to finish. HMPH, third generation is really relieved, let Minato run to the front line of Rock Shinobi alone. Tsunade looked at Kushina and spoke with a serious face. To know. On the Rock Shinobi battlefield, Tsuchikage Onoki will even be there in person, and his dust escape can be described as unparalleled in the world, which is very dangerous. Okay, Miss Tsunade, third generation may have his own considerations. Kushina said, ran over and took Tsunade's hand, and then spoke. I met Chiba today, I didn't expect him to grow so big. Hearing this, Tsunade glanced at Kushina, and then said, Kushina, don't be fooled by this kid's appearance. He secretly changed the body training method of our Senju clan, and he is practicing, he grows faster than a pig all day long. The real leaf next to him hastily opened his mouth. Chiba is growing his body, why grow faster? At this moment, Tsunade looked around. I just don't know where this kid has gone now. I guess I went to practice in the back mountain again. Kushina, you didn't come here today because of this kid, did you? Kushina was silent for a moment, then nodded, and said. That's right. I ran into him in the Uchiha clan today. However, upon hearing Kushina's words, Senju Maya next to him changed his face and was very surprised. Good guy. Chiba, is he really mixed up with the Uchiha clan? He still remembered the bold words Chiba and he put down before enrolling. I want to turn this Konoha upside down. At this moment, he really wanted to remind Tsunade to take care of Chiba. However, thinking about what happened to Danzo some time ago, Maha felt unable to swallow this breath again. Senju is almost gone, and the old Danzo is planning to reach out. His bloodiness has been worn away by Konoha, and this should not be used to bind Senju's descendants. Thinking of this, Maha seemed relieved and let out a sigh of relief. Kushina, what are you doing with Chiba? Kushina recalled Ninetales' reaction at that time, and after thinking for a while, he spoke. Ninetales and me, great response to Chiba. Ninetales says Chiba has the same physique as first Hokage Senju Hashirama. I'm thinking, maybe Chiba, like first generation, has the potential to suppress tailed beasts. So, I want to take Chiba as an apprentice, teach him the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan, and use it to restrain tailed beasts in the future. Ninetales are no ordinary tailed beasts after all. Even though Kushina, as the Uzumaki family, has natural restraint on the tailed beast, it cannot be said that he can suppress it 100%. And once Ninetales goes berserk, no one can bear the consequences. I just don't know where he went now. However, Kushina's voice just fell. From the back mountain of the Senju clan, a huge chakra suddenly came out. Kushina caught it right away. As a member of the Uzumaki clan, her Kagura mind eye spread out and went straight to the source. What a strong chakra wave. Kushina was surprised. At the same time, the Ninetales in her body began to agitate again. Apparently, Ninetales reacted to that chakra. Found it should be Chiba. Hearing this, Tsunade and Maya looked at each other. Sure enough, he is practicing in the back mountain. Shall we take you there? Kushina quickly waved his hand. No need, I sensed her, so I won't bother you. Hearing this, the two also nodded. Okay, then you go to find that kid. As he spoke, Tsunade suddenly grabbed Kushina's neck and laughed. I'll be back later, have a drink with me tonight. Kushina immediately showed a smile and said with a smile. No problem. Soon Kushina followed the direction of chakra's fluctuations. After rounding a hill, the source of chakra is getting closer. But this time, buzz buzz. The sound of chakra's high-speed spinning explosion came, which was extremely ear-piercing. The chirping at this frequency made Kushina subconsciously want to cover her ears. At the same time, the distant air is carried away, forming a terrifying Uzumaki. Almost instantly, Kushina recognized it. It's a spiral gun. This is a terrible ninjutsu under the shape change of chakra. Chiba is practicing. Kushina stepped forward immediately, but when she saw the scene in front of her, she was dumbfounded. At the moment, Chiba is experimenting with chakra's nature transformation. Shape change, screw gun. Chakra, spinning at high speed, turned into a spear on Chiba's arm. At the same time, Chiba begins to extract the attribute chakra. Next moment, a large amount of water gushes out from Chiba's wrist. Following chakra's rotation, it begins to transform into a giant Uzumaki. Buzz buzz. Accompanied by the sound of explosion. The spiral chakra turns into a high-speed water blade with terrifying cutting ability. At this moment, Chiba's hand injury turned into a high-speed rotating water-shaped javelin. Seeing this scene, Kushina's expression changed slightly. Is this the water-style ninjutsu of the Senju clan? Kushina was amazed. Senju Tobarama is very good at water style. Right now, Chiba is using Senju Tobarama's famous S-class ninjutsu. Water-style hard vortex water blade. She was once seen on the ninjutsu scrolls of the Senju clan. This is a type of AoE range damage. After throwing it out, once it hits the target, it will form a huge waterspout, which is powerful and gorgeous. However, Chiba is using it now, but it is different from the hard vortex water blade that Kushina knows. It was originally a ninjutsu based on the water attribute chakra nature transformation, but at this moment, under the high-speed rotation, it was condensed into a water blade javelin by Chiba. He added the shape change of the spiral gun. Kushina was horrified. She once heard Namikaze Minato say that Rasengan is actually unfinished jutsu. Infuse it with chakra nature transformation and it's done. However, it is quite difficult to use chakra's double transformation, even Namikaze Minato could not do it. Didn't expect to see it here. And there is no doubt that the Chiba-infused corkscrew is stronger and more destructive than the Rasengan. Kushina was shocked. This is the chakra double change ninjutsu that the talented Namikaze Minato couldn't do. Now it has reappeared in Chiba's hands. Terrible. Only. Chakra's double change is indeed not easy to master. At this moment, even though the double transformation has been formed in Chiba's hands, it is very unstable. The spiral gun that was used at the beginning was very stable, but the rotating water gun in front of him was shaking constantly, as if it would explode at any moment. Obviously, this ninjutsu, Chiba is still in the development stage. However, the amount of chakra released by Chiba at the moment is already amazing. At the same time, the rotating water gun continues to accelerate. Chakra nature transformation is still undergoing shocking changes. In the end, even the limit of change was reached, and Kushina had to sigh. What a terrible chakra manipulation. Is it possible that he wants to surpass the former Senju Tobirama? The moment Kushina finished speaking this sentence, the rotating water gun in Chiba's hand trembled even more, and it was about to burst. Kushina's expression changed. Chiba, be careful. As soon as the words fell, Chiba could no longer control the rotating water gun in his hand. Seeing that it was about to explode, Chiba quickly threw it out. Next moment. Boom. Under the blessing of the spiral, the thrown rotating water gun rushed out like a jet in an instant, the speed even increased, and the water blade became sharper. At the same time, a low-frequency vibration sound like Uzumaki is released. Then, there was a bang. The high-speed water gun rushed to the rock wall of the distant mountain with an unstoppable posture. Immediately afterwards, there was a loud bang. At the same time, at the moment when the rotating water gun hit the rock wall, Chiba also flew backwards under the action of this counter-impact. Seeing this, Kushina rushed over and caught him with her body. Boy Chiba, are you desperate? How dare you secretly play with such a dangerous technique by yourself? No doubt. This is forbidden technique. And it's the forbidden technique of forbidden technique. The hard vortex water blade based on the spiral gun endows this water style with unimaginable penetration and cutting power. And Chiba actually held such a dangerous thing in his hand. If you are not careful, your arm will be crushed. Even if there is no touch, it will affect the muscles and bones of the arm. Really? Kushina raised Chiba's right hand with a worried look on his face. At this moment, it was found that the muscles of Chiba's right hand had been distorted in a spiral posture. There was even blood flowing out. Kushina cursed secretly, and immediately began to check Chiba's injuries. Fortunately, the injury is not serious, I hope there will be no sequelae. After a little inspection, Kushina breathed a sigh of relief. She quickly hugged Chiba in her arms and wanted to send him to Tsunade for treatment. However, at this moment, Chiba suddenly withdrew his hand and jumped off Kushina. Kushina, what are you doing sneaking around here? At this moment, like a normal person, he patted the dust off his body and stood up calmly. Seeing this scene, Kushina, who was still in a hurry, was dumbfounded. Seeing her froze, Chiba raised an eyebrow. What's wrong? Kushina pointed to Chiba's arm. The wound on your hand. Chiba waggled his right hand. Can this thing be called injury? Then, just under Kushina's stunned expression, Chiba's body instantly released a majestic vitality. Immediately afterwards, the twisted arm began to heal quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was back to normal. Seeing this scene, Kushina's eyes widened with disbelief. Wounds heal without mudras. Even Miss Tsunade can't do this. Kushina was shocked. It is rumored that only Tsunade's grandfather Senju Hashirama can do this kind of thing. Tsunade can also heal wounds with Muji. It just needs to use her own special ninjutsu, which is completely incomparable with Senju Hashirama. At this moment, Kushina looked at Chiba like a monster. The heart is thinking, isn't Chiba a descendant of Senju Tobarama? But now, if it weren't for Chiba's silver hair, she must think Chiba is Senju Hashirama's species. Thinking of this, Kushina looked at Chiba with determination. Sure enough, Chiba, you have the same physique as first Hokage Senju Hashirama. Hearing this, Chiba just smiled. This kind of physique is not owned, but cultivated by himself. And, still some distance away from the real sage body. Right now, he is healing easily because the vitality in his body is too majestic. At this moment, the smoke from the distant rock wall dissipated, Kushina's pupils trembled and shrank suddenly. Because, on the solid rock wall, there appeared a trace of a huge spiral state with a diameter of tens of meters. And in the center of the trace, there is a hole nearly half a meter in diameter. The hole pierced the rock wall, as if clearing everything that stood in its way. Terrible penetrating power. Kushina swallowed. Can't help but look back at Chiba at the same time. You fought Uchiha Shisui and you kept your hand. Chiba shook his head. It doesn't count as holding back. This trick, in the creation, still has a long way to go. Kushina was puzzled and looked at Chiba. Isn't your technique already formed? This is something that Namikaze Minato failed to do. It's not even close. I'm just standing on the shoulders of my predecessors. Spiral gun is based on the Rasengan. The hard vortex water blade comes from Senju Tobarama. The fusion of the two erupted with devastating power. However, stability, accuracy, front swing length, etc. are all huge problems. Right now, this technique can be said to have no advantages other than its great power. Its practicality is not as good as the spiral gun with instant stability and high accuracy. At the same time, it is still a question of whether it can be used next time. After all, this thing is different from the spiral shuriken. That's a ninjutsu based on Rasengan, which is stable enough on its own. And Chiba's spiral gun is actually unstable, otherwise Namikaze Minato should also choose this form. It's just that Chiba's chakra manipulation is too strong, forcing it to stabilize. In terms of the difficulty of practicing these two ninjutsu, they are not at the same level at all. This is Chiba's first attempt at adapting ninjutsu. It's a new experience, one that's hard to come by. In the future, Chiba will be more and more handy in adapting ninjutsu. Kushina, why did you come to see me? Sneaky. If it was only because of Nine Tails before, Kushina still has some doubts. At this moment, after seeing Chiba Muji heal his wound, Kushina is almost sure. Like Nine Tails said, Chiba has the same physique as first Hokage Senju Hashirama. Therefore, she didn't talk nonsense, and went straight to the point. Be my disciple. I will teach you the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan. Sealing technique. Chiba raised his eyebrows, thought for a moment, and said. You can teach me the sealing technique, I am willing to learn. But, I can't be your disciple. Why? Kushina looked puzzled. Hearing this, Chiba looked at Kushina the same. Do you really don't know, or do you pretend you don't know? If Kushina doesn't know, Chiba doesn't want to say more. After all, she will be pregnant soon. Chiba didn't want to involve her, at least, not yet. However, suddenly Kushina's face changed slightly. Chiba, do you know something? I should know everything. The two seemed to have got the signal right. The moment after speaking, both of them were silent. Then, Kushina was the first to break the silence. Since you know about the Senju clan, why do you still go to the Uchiha clan so swaggeringly? You should also know about your Uzumaki clan. Didn't you become Nine Tails Jinchuriki? Hearing this, Kushina's eyes widened with disbelief. So amazing. Chiba seems to know everything. Kushina shook her head hastily. I'm not for Hokage. It's for the former Grandma Mito. To fulfill her promise. What the promise was, Chiba was well guessing. It is nothing more than the will of fire that protects Konoha. Just from the wife who used to be Senju Hashirama. However, the will of fire back then was still the real will of fire. Right now, it has changed. I'm not afraid of Hokage. To the Uchiha clan, to change the world. Kushina, meow meow. Change the world. Secondary school boy. Kushina waved his hand. It does not matter. The next fourth Hokage will be Minato. You become my disciple, no one will stop you. Hearing this, Chiba shook his head. Kushina still thinks too simply. It's useless. Chiba said calmly. I have confidence in Minato. After becoming Hokage, he has his own ideas about Konoha. Whether it's the Senju clan or the Uchiha clan. He wants Konoha to make a change. For this reason, he specially accepted a Uchiha boy as his apprentice. Chiba was very pleased that Kushina could say this. At least, she thinks there is something wrong with Konoha and Hokage. Just changing in my own way. And her way is to put Namikaze Minato on Hokage to change the village. Unfortunately, this is bound to be a dead end. No matter how many Uchiha boys Minato accepts as apprentices, he can't change Konoha. You don't know Minato at all. Kushina frowned. No, it's because you don't understand Sarutobi Hiruzen at all. You don't understand this Konoha. You don't understand the three mountains of Konoha. Even if Minato becomes Hokage, he is just a puppet manipulated by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Any ideas and measures he has will come to naught. Hearing this, Kushina's frown deepened. Why do you say that? I told you, you don't know Sarutobi Hiruzen at all. Chiba sighed and opened his mouth to explain. First, Minato is a force supported by Sarutobi Hiruzen. It is originally a class of the Hokage faction, and it cannot overcome the inherent class limitations. Second, what he believes in is will of fire. However, this kind of thinking is backward in this era, with a certain degree of blindness. And it has been infused with the attributes of the ruling class by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Third, he lacks scientific ideological and theoretical guidance and does not belong to the advanced class. Therefore, even if he becomes Hokage, he cannot fundamentally propose a complete and correct political program and social transformation plan. The nature of this Konoha will not happen. Any change. Fourth, you actually want to use the forces supported by Sarutobi Hiruzen to deal with Sarutobi Hiruzen itself, which shows that your understanding of him is still at the perceptual stage, you have not reached a rational understanding, and you have illusions about him. Fifth, from a realistic point of view, Minato's leadership is nothing more than an empty shell of Hokage. Sarutobi Hiruzen has already paved the way for the belief in will of fire. He cannot get the sincere support of all races. At the same time, he has no mastering the economic power to supply the various ethnic groups will not be able to obtain the actual power to command the various ethnic groups. The spirit of screaming, obtained only by the title of hero after the victory has no system and no practice. It is completely a puppet of Sarutobi Hiruzen listening to politics behind the curtain, that's all. Having said that, Chiba sighed. In summary, this way, it is impossible to complete the historical task of liberating Konoha. It can't change the world. Chiba's words hit Kushina's chest like a heavy hammer. It caught her off guard. This series of bombardments left her speechless. Although there are some concepts in it, she is not very clear, but this does not prevent her from understanding Chiba's final conclusion. Namikaze Minato takes on 4th Hokage. This Konoha, nothing will change. Senju, still the declining Senju, Uchiha, still the cautious Uchiha, will of fire will still let those who have no thought go forward. And this world will still change in the reciprocation of war and peace. You. Kushina opened his mouth. She wanted to refute, but she couldn't utter a single word. Finally, she stomped her feet helplessly. I do not care. I believe in Minato. Chiba shook his head. Dazzled by love. Kushina. She sighed and shrugged her shoulders as if relieved. All right. As you said, even if Minato becomes 4th Hokage, nothing can be done. Then how do you think we can change the current situation of Konoha? You can come up with a plan. Hearing this, Chiba glanced at Kushina and couldn't help but speak. I can come up with a plan, do you want to hear it? The appearance of Kushina was a bit premature. After all, she still has a Nine Tails rebellion ahead of her. However, since Kushina took the initiative to find her at this moment, Chiba would naturally not push her away. Now is the time to strengthen your team. Kushina nodded. Want to hear? She is curious. What kind of plan can Chiba come up with? The next moment, Chiba let out a breath and said seriously. If you want to change the status quo of Konoha, you have to start from the root. Overthrow the existing system and build a new one. Get rid of the shackles of a big country and achieve economic self-sufficiency. Vigorously develop production and spread freedom of thought. What? After listening to Chiba's words, Kushina was stunned. The first sentence of the opening sentence shocked her. Chiba, you want to rebel. Chiba frowned. Kushina, watch your words. This is called an uprising. Although the essence is the same, the positions are different. The frequent outbreaks of ninja world wars have indicated that the world's ninja village system is a dead end, and Konoha's top management is even more of a moth attached to Konoha. Their existence is definitely not beneficial to Konoha, they are enemies of Konoha. Hearing this, Kushina looked complicated. Although, she really hated Konoha's senior management. Although there is no evidence for the extermination of the Uzumaki clan and the decline of the Senju clan, she, Kushina, is not a fool. Some things are just seen through but not revealed. But right now, Konoha is indeed peaceful and prosperous. Kushina hesitated. Don't be blinded by superficial phenomena, see the essence through phenomena. I admit that there is indeed peace inside Konoha, but this is only based on exploiting some people and persecuting others. It's not just once or twice that the high-level officials kill the donkey. The so-called Hokage leading Konoha to victory is simply a joke. It is also written in the textbook that Sarutobi Hiruzen is the strongest Hokage, praising his countless great achievements. Would you, who have lived through those times, believe in these things? You won't believe it. However, the next generation, will believe that they will regard Sarutobi Hiruzen and the third generation, the strongest Hokage as idols, and regard them as sublime, and then under the brainwashing of will of fire, they will be exploitation, persecution. If you think that the process of breaking the existing hypocritical peace and prosperity and rebuilding a new order system will cause huge bloody sacrifices, I can only tell you that the long-term pain is worse than the short-term pain, and the pain and turmoil will be exchanged for new life. Kushina was silent. Chiba's words touched her heart. You are Konoha's Jinchuriki, you can be regarded as one of Konoha's cores. Although you can't touch the deepest things, you must know more than ordinary ninjas. At the same time, you also understand his dark side better. Sarutobi Hiruzen practiced internal brainwashing hypocrisy and external conservative retrietism for his own rule. Shimura Danzo used cruel means to build forces in the village for his own self-interest, and he used radical adventurism outside the village to collude with him. Mitokado Homura and Udatane Kaharu boast for their own high positions, full of bureaucracy and formalism. If you don't defeat them, how can Konoha talk about change? The Senju clan, the Uchiha clan, the Hyuga clan, and your Uzumaki clan, as well as other rising geniuses who have their own ideas, including but not limited to the former Hitaki Sakumo, the current Orochimaru, these are all a lesson of blood and tears. Stop fooling yourself. Chiba finished speaking in one breath, speaking quickly. After hearing all this, Kushina remained silent with a very complicated look on her face. You alone, how can you shake the three mountains of Konoha? I've never been alone. This Konoha, there are too many oppressed people. Therefore, there are too many people I can unite with. For a moment, Kushina felt his head buzzing. Uchiha was the first thing she thought of. Because, today Chiba is hanging around the Uchiha clan all over his head. Can it be possible, Uchiha? Chiba nodded. That's right. God. Kushina was taken aback and took 2 steps back. Why is Fugaku messing around with you? This is not nonsense. I discussed the world and Konoha's pattern with him, and he saw the dawn of victory and the possibility of the future. He and I are changing the world. Change the world. Just now when this sentence came from Chiba's mouth, Kushina laughed it off, thinking that he was a second-year fantasy. But, right now, the weight contained in these 4 words is completely different. She felt a different kind of power. That is the power of thought. Kushina held his forehead, the amount of information was too much. She needs to digest well. After a while, Kushina couldn't help asking. Miss Tsunade and Mr. Mabano. Chiba shook his head. I don't know for now. I'll surprise them. Grass. Kushina was speechless. Do you think this is a surprise? I'm afraid there is only surprise but no joy. Kushina thought for a long time, and said. Now that you've united Uchiha, what's next? Any plans? Temporarily lurking. Chiba spoke frankly. Right now, our alliance is not strong enough to confront Konoha's high-level leaders head-on, so we need to wait until the next Uchiha expedition. Kushina was surprised. Why the next Uchiha expedition? It is well known that Uchiha returned from defeat. However, many people know that Kirigage is only retreating temporarily. After all, there is no real defeat in front of them, and they are just repelled by Uchiha. Because Konoha's victory in the Rock Shinobi battlefield has greatly boosted Konoha's morale, Kirigage needs to avoid the hype period. Moreover, not only Kirigage, but even Cloud Shinobi of the Zanjun martial arts faction temporarily avoided the edge, allowing Hyuga on the front line to have a chance to breathe. We need to improve the theory, develop the base, and establish an organization. Formulate relevant guidelines. Necessary banners, declarations, programs, bills, etc. From the very beginning, we intend to build an organized and disciplined regular team, not a grassroots team. Konoha is the base camp of the enemy. Of course, these things cannot be done under the nose of the enemy. The risk is too great. At the same time, around Konoha, there are too many farmers and businessmen displaced by the war. This group of people, we must first unite. So, we need to wait until Uchiha goes out, the next time they leave the village. Kushina was puzzled and couldn't help asking. Why are they united in the first place? The establishment of political power and institutions cannot be separated from the support of the economy. Chiba explained. And the most stable economy is grain and grass. Unite farmers and workers to ensure the supplement of our economy and avoid being stuck by Konoha. At the same time, it is also a necessary preparation for getting rid of the economic control of the Fire Nation after establishing a new order in the future. More importantly, Konoha's central power is huge, while local power is thin. Assault from the enemy's weak point, taking the path of encircling the center from the local area is undoubtedly the best way out. After hearing this, Kushina opened his mouth wide. Reasonable, convincing, irrefutable. And, Chiba is no joke. As he said, they are not a grassroots team. If. I said if. Kushina looked at Chiba and said with a complicated expression. If Minato and I join you, what can we do? You can. Chiba nodded. But Minato may be a bit difficult. Kushina's expression changed slightly, and she couldn't help frowning. Why? As I said before, Minato was supported by Namikaze Minato. He is a class of the Hokage faction. Of course, if he can make up his mind to go against Sarutobi Hiruzen, then just pretend I didn't say that. Do you think there is such a possibility? Kushina was silent. She knows Minato. Although the little things in life, Minato basically listens to her. However, when it comes to this kind of thing, I'm afraid it's not that simple. Minato is a commoner ninja. He was able to get to where he is today, relying on his mentor Jiraiya and the appreciation of Sarutobi Hiruzen. So, become Sarutobi Hiruzen's puppet. He is sorry for Konoha, and join us to fight against Sarutobi Hiruzen. He can't pass his own level. Of course, it is not impossible for Minato to join. Hearing this, Kushina was taken aback, and said quickly. Chiba, tell me. He ascended to 4th Hokage, became a puppet of Sarutobi Hiruzen, realized his true face, and achieved a rational understanding of him. At that time, he will be forced to have no choice but to retreat, and he will be able to join our team and embark on this path. Moreover, if he can really join, then our team's plan will undergo a phased change. Kushina glanced at Chiba and asked. What change? Our original plan was to surround the center from the periphery, unite the forces within Konoha, and when the time is right, take them down in one fell swoop. However, this is a bloody conflict. After success, there will be many problems to be solved. First, Konoha's regime change has not been approved by the Fire Nation, and the daimyo will definitely not admit it. At that time, the economic supply from the Fire Nation will most likely be cut off. Although we need to be economically independent from the beginning of our plan, in the early stages of the establishment of the order, it will inevitably be difficult, and there is even the possibility of collapse. Second, this kind of conflict is an internal consumption of our Konoha, and it is impossible for the enemies of other ninja villages not to seize this opportunity. At that time, we will inevitably be attacked by the enemy. The worst case is that the 4 major ninja villages are besieged at the same time. It even supports the backstabs of other ninja villages. Hearing this, Kushina's complexion changed a bit. She didn't think so much before, she just felt that the plan designated by Chiba was very feasible, but now it seems that it is so difficult. Is this road so difficult? Chiba shook his head. Don't underestimate any system that has been built for decades. The road to pursuing liberation and freedom has never been smooth sailing. Thanks for watching.